G'day, hobbyists. Anthony from AOS Coach here, bringing you an exciting episode. A series of thought leaders have actually joined me on this call, and I'm super excited to start this session off. My name's Anthony. You are going to be in for a treat when it comes to our topic of the day. Before we get into it, I want to introduce my two guests. So over straight from America, we have...
Hi, I'm Chuck Moore.
And back locally here in Australia with me, not physically in the room, but in another region, it is...
Hayden Walker.
Hey guys, absolutely great having you. And so the topic of today, in our hobby chat, we're going to be talking about Stormcast Strong, wargaming, health and fitness, making us more efficient and effective, but through our physical and our mental well-being. So this all started really for me personally on the Twitter sphere when I saw this hashtag called Stormcast Strong. Now, it's probably not something you probably would be expecting. I thought, oh, here we go. It's another Stormcast chamber, something maybe that Chuck has seen as a leak coming in AOS 2. It's some stupid muscle-bound Stormcast thing. But as I clicked through the hashtag, I was pleasantly surprised to see something special. And Chuck, I actually might throw it over to you to let people know, what is Stormcast Strong? If you were to click that hashtag, what are you going to find?
Well, it really just began because I have two hobbies. I have wargaming, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and lifting that I've been doing for the past year. And it was one of those things, just started posting pictures of myself going to the gym and surprised at how many people like it, because the obvious thing is wargamers aren't usually the most fit people, but it's actually kind of shocking that that's not the case as you might initially expect. So Stormcast Strong just kind of it flowed, and I just kind of put it up as a hashtag whenever I was posting my pictures, just to be a little bit silly, but it became sort of a rallying cry. So if you go to Twitter and search Stormcast Strong, and I'm trying to get it started on Instagram too, so please use it there. But pictures of yourself after, during your workout, just what workout you're doing. It doesn't have to be pictures. You can just use it as an accountability, saying I'm going running after work, or this is what I did today. So it's become a rallying cry and like a banner for us all who want to get better. Reforge on the anvil apotheosis underneath that weight bench and get better.
Yeah. And for me, when I clicked on that hashtag, I was surprised to see how many people were on there already. And it was such a varying degree of experience, where you had some people, such as yourself, Chuck, who were quite experienced in weightlifting. You were sharing some amazing, I think there was a deadlift video, but then there were some people just starting on their journey, or they were asking questions about foods, and, they heard about a couple of diets and, what were the differences. So it was almost like this group together kind of banding to go to learn more about health and well-being, and what they could start doing today to make changes for the future. So I've brought you two together really as thought leaders in this space. Hayden, you are a personal trainer, a trainer by trade.
Yes.
People pay you for your knowledge.
Yes, for some reason they do.
They probably don't know that you're an elf player. We were just having this chat where Chuck and Hayden found that they are...
Is there a connection between elf players and wonderful hair? Because Hayden, you got it going on, man.
I know, right? It's must be a thing.
Guys, when you're watching this video, I'd love you to in the comments section below, let us know what you think about the hair. I think it's fantastic. It's why, as a free people human player, I just wear a hat. We're known for our mustaches and our beards, but
yeah. I can't do that, unfortunately, no matter how much I try.
Yeah, I can't touch your beard game.
I'll stick with the moustache and the beard. I enjoyed it when we had a war scroll that allowed us get some special rules if I had a better moustache than my opponent. So
yeah.
So let's kick this off. Let's actually start having a bit of a discussion. So where do we want to start? If in fact, let's think about the war gamer. You know, someone who may have never experienced health and well-being. They've read a couple of blogs. They know they need to get more active. They're thinking about starting this journey. Where does somebody start with their wellness journey? So let's throw a broad question out to you both.
Well, for me, being the amateur, concept, it's to begin your journey. You just truly just begin it. Get dedicated to do an hour of movements. If you're already kind of fit, you could go in and start doing weightlifting. If you're overweight or have problems moving, just starting to move. Easy on the joints is what I can recommend. But really, for me, like, the idea of getting started is just truly dedicating a part of every single day to doing it at whatever level you can.
So is that getting out there and going to the gym every day, or is that something, small, like getting out and walking for, a certain amount of time? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I'd probably defer this to Hayden because he probably has a better understanding of it. For me, it was immediately to the gym, and I started running every day. And then when I, lost a little bit of the weight, I was like, I want to do weightlifting, and I fell in love with weightlifting. So that's why I've just been doing that, and becoming the typical weightlifter where, stairs are cardio for me now because I'd rather just pick heavy things up and put them back down. But yeah, I'm curious, like, from the professional end, what Hayden might think, because for me, it's just getting out and doing what you can. But
yeah, Hayden, what?
Coming from just the professional side of thing and being a massive nerd for the last 28 years that I've been around, walking into a gym can be quite intimidating for a lot of people, regardless of whether they're a nerd, whether they're just someone who hasn't been in that environment before. Personally, when I first started, I was 45 kilos. I was tiny. I had never stepped into a gym before, and I felt intimidated. I was a sporty guy as well. I wasn't overweight. I wasn't thinking that people were judging me all the time, which I feel a lot of people can get. So even getting outside, going for a walk, walking the dog, doing little things like parking at the other side of the car park when you go to the shops, just adding those little bits of extra movement to your day can help. Just to get started, you don't have to walk into a gym day dot, because if you don't feel comfortable in that environment, you can get kind of, burnt out quite quickly, and ease your way into it as well. Like, don't start going to the gym 7 days a week, just starting. You're going to be sore, you're going to hate it, and then you're going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
No, look, I couldn't agree with you more. I know, and it's interesting actually, you both sharing your journey. So, Hayden, you started off as a really skinny kid. Chuck, you're a little bit chunkier than you are now.
Mm-hmm.
So you've turned fat to muscle. And I know for me, the catalyst really was around. I was a pretty skinny, tall kid growing up. I got to university, and I was really fortunate that my university had a deal with a pizza shop, and you used to get a whole pizza and a garlic bread for about $5. And being out of home for the first time, I was about 6 hours north of where my parents lived. So I was on my own for the first time, had all this cash to burn. I went crazy, drinking, eating lots of junk food, and I got out to, I think, about 100, maybe even 130 kilos. I think it was around 127, 130 kilos. So really blew out in a short period of time. And for me, it was this, I've got to do something, and starting to learn. And Hayden, exactly what you just said, going into the gym for the first time was quite daunting, especially for someone who may have never been to a gym, may not have been that sporty type of person. So I can fully relate to what you guys have just shared.
And I kind of want to touch on something Hayden mentioned about, confidence going to the gym. From my experience, if you're like, whenever I see people at the gym at any level, like personally, if you're there, you have my respect, because you're there, you're showing up. Like, it's kind of odd. Like, you think you'd be judged because there's people that are better shape and worse shape, but it's just like going to a wargaming event. You're not going to be judged on your painting by everybody. You're going to have people like Vince Venturella walk up and talk to you and be like, oh, that's cool, and point out your good stuff, and you can ask tips. Like, there's really not a shaming community that I see in the gym culture. The people that kind of might give you this weird glance or look at it are usually the people that, you know, they're just weird people, and you don't talk to them anyway, out in or outside the gym. But they're really, like, just showing up and applying yourself at the gym immediately earns you the respect of the people at the gym.
Exactly. Just walking into that environment, and people will see you bettering yourself, and people love you for that. You know, don't be afraid to go up and ask people questions, you know, because everyone's generally there and they're trying to better themselves and they want to help other people. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely spot on. So you've started talking a little bit about the gym, and I'd love to take a step back for a second and think more about, you know, I've started my journey, whether it's to get big, to get small, to get faster. You know, there's something that I want to achieve. And you've started talking about maybe joining a gym, starting with some small walks, you know, parking the car, or maybe getting off a train 1 or 2 stops earlier than I should. What are some of the most common challenges, or what are some of the obstacles you think I'm likely to face? And, you know, what are some of the scenarios or things that I could do to, you know, get through these roadblocks?
Food.
Yeah.
Food. Even I've got people who are paying me money to train them, and their biggest obstacle is food. No matter how hard you train, you cannot out-train a bad diet. Food is the building blocks of what our body does. If you're putting crap into your body, it's going to reflect on the outside. You know, it doesn't matter if you're starving yourself or whether you're overeating. You need to give your body the nutrients that it needs. It also needs, you know, enough calories to actually survive. If you don't have those building blocks, your body isn't going to get where you want it to go.
Yeah, absolutely on that. There's so much research and material out there, because that was one of my issues early on was, you know, what do I need to eat? What do I not need to eat? You know, what kind of diet should I be on? You know, and then getting into learning how to bulk and doing bulk for 3 months. And now I'm on a cut for 3 months and how to do that all safely. And, you know, I still want to go get stronger, but I want to lose the body fat. So what do I need to eat to do that? But that is 100% true. Like, abs aren't made in the gym. Abs are made in the kitchen. Like, don't believe any 6-minute ab or any of that fitness crap. You need to make sure you're feeding your body what it needs.
And it all boils back to the fact it's calories in versus calories out. That is the biggest thing. There's all these things like, you know, the research that's been done into stuff like intermittent fasting, into ketogenic diets, into other things like paleo, which is like the bane of my existence. And, you know, all these fad diets that are tricking people who just honestly don't know any better into trying these things and then hurting themselves, you know, like a keto diet. A keto diet shouldn't really be done without the guidance of a dietitian. And only certain people should be doing that, because ketones can be dangerous, you know, and then people do these diets for 6 to 8 weeks and don't reverse diet off it. And then they just blow out again. So it's just research and knowledge is the biggest thing that you can do with any kind of journey, fitness, life related at all. You know, just learn and be open to learning.
So I guess if I'm thinking about people who might be watching this video, there's going to be some people who have never really thought about their diets. They eat what they eat because that's what their family brought them up on. There's going to be some people who know they need to eat more fruit and vegetables, more salads, you know, more meats or less meats, or, you know, there's going to be a wide degree of knowledge on the line. Let's think about the starting points. You know, let's forget diets. I think, you know, that is one of the things that can quite overcomplicate things. Like, where do I start? Which diet do I need to join? And, you know, making diets sustainable can be quite difficult. You know, they're probably more lifestyle choices than, you know, following a diet. where do I start? If I'm someone new, someone who's thinking about getting back into fitness and health, what are some of the tips? Where do I go? What should I be thinking about from a food point of view?
Yeah.
Chuck, I'll start with you.
From a, I say you said specifically from a food point of view.
Well, let's think about. We were just talking about food and
Okay.
how important it is. Like, where do you start, or what are you thinking about?
Just in general, start whether it's food or whether it's going to the gym. Realizing as we keep calling it a journey, we are not calling that just because it's a cute, clever keyword. It is a journey. There's nothing in the fitness end that I've realized that you're going to get done in a week. This is going to be years and years and years, and you're going to keep getting better. Just like I said, throw it back to painting. I look at my first model, it's still sitting on my hobby desk. It's total garbage. Looking at what I can do now, over years and years of doing it, I'm so much better. And it correlates too, like I'm lifting a lot more because I've been lifting for a year. So I think really, no matter what aspect it is, whether it's, I know I need to eat more vegetables, I know I need to cut out the chocolate, or I need to get off the greasy foods, is just knowing that you can't just do that one aspect for a couple weeks. Like you'll see small little changes, but you need to do it all the time. You need to be consistent. You need to be dedicated. Having someone to be accountable for you, whether actually a good buddy Dan over at AOS Shorts, we message each other all the time because before Stormcast Strong came out and the hashtag was working, we were using each other as accountability. I mean, we're worlds apart. So I'd wake up in the morning and see his gym picture, and he'd be going to bed, and then it'd be the same back and forth just to make sure we're always doing it. So finding a way to get that dedication going is probably the biggest part in a huge hurdle, just initially, just getting that idea in your head.
Yeah. So Hayden, it's probably less about making this one drastic lifestyle change where, as of today, I'm now absolutely cutting out all soda, all chips, all greasy food.
It look at swapping rather than stopping. That's the biggest thing. Like if instead of cutting things out, try for example, if you're having energy drinks or sodas or stuff like that, swap the sugar option for a sugar-free option. It's about those kind of small changes, cutting out as many calories, as much sugar, as much refined processed crap that you have. Everybody has it. It's just about having it all in moderation. You can't just have as much as you want all the time. That's not how you be healthy. You can, eat pizza every day, but don't expect to be, the fittest person on earth.
But I'm in the land of America. I should be able to do that, right? They put sugar in everything we have. So.
Oh man, I was in LA last year, and oh dude, the food in LA was just fantastic. But yeah, it was getting home was a big change.
It honestly, for me personally, as you're talking about the sugar, I was off soda, I was off all that, but I have a fond connection with milk chocolate. So that's where like a lot of my sugar consumption came in, and the little stuff adds up. I went through about a 2-week detox, just cutting everything sugar if it wasn't a fruit, and it was one piece of fruit a day just to get my body off of it. And it was probably the hardest thing of the whole journey I've done so far, because I was mood swinging, I was headaches. It felt like coming off a drug, and now that I'm off it, it's so great. Like, everything has so much more flavor too. Like once you're off sugar, your taste buds just come alive.
Yeah. And, you guys have actually probably moved into a really interesting topic, which is around the hidden traps. Things that and the first thing I think about, and I think I was talking to maybe Hayden or Chuck, maybe even both of you guys around this. I remember when I was reading about bagels, there's a beautiful bagel shop near my work, and occasionally I treat myself to a bagel. You get some salmon and some cream cheese, and I'm feeling good. I'm like, yeah, really nice breakfast. And I did some research and found about the calorie, how dense the bagel was, and a bagel being the equivalent of about 4 to 5 pieces of toast. And I could probably eat two bagels if I'm really hungry, and
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't eat almost a loaf of bread. So in that vein, what are some of the traps and pitfalls that you guys see, whether it's maybe from a dietary point of view, from the foods, you guys are talking about sugars, like where are the other traps that I could easily kind of ruin my healthy eating just by something?
Supplements is a big one, as much as people preach it. Protein shakes aren't the be all and end all of a fitness journey. Supplements are a supplement to your diet. If you get your food right, you're not going to need that kind of thing to get where you want to go. It's there, like, you might as well have a glass of milk. It does the same thing. Whey protein is just the dry product of milk, So you might as well just have a glass of milk. It'll give you the same effect that a protein shake will. But it's all the extra calories and all the extra carbs and all the other stuff that comes in these, highly marketed secret formula protein shakes to get you big, to get you small, to get you fit. You get your food right first. That's the big thing. Don't rely on supplements. That's the biggest trap that I've seen people fall into.
Yeah, so let's not go out to the next gym shop and throw a couple of $100 in omega-3s and magnesium and vitamin A, vitamin B. If you really want to improve your vitamin C, try eat more oranges and then use that.
But if you look at foods in general, strawberries have more vitamin C than oranges. So if you add it, just look at what's in your food. It's the biggest thing. Yeah. Like it's just little traps more so than anything. But
Hayden, what about some other things that might be common? So if I'm new to my fitness journey, I'm probably not smashing out my whey protein shakes. I'm probably, eating generic food that I find at the supermarket or, at the cafe. What are some of the other things that you would see?
Some of the other things I see is juice. Juice is a big one.
Why is that? Why juice?
Because if you look at the label on, say, just your normal Woolies or Coles branded fruit juice, it's mostly sugar water. It's not juice. It's very high in sugar. It's lots of corn syrup generally is what's in it, and it's just flavoring. It's barely any juice. If you want to have a proper fruit juice, juice it yourself.
And correct me if I'm wrong, from a juice point of view, what makes me feel fuller is the fiber that I would find in fruit. And it's
that's
those
it, 100%. Yeah.
I lose the fiber, which is why I'm probably hungry or thirsty not long after I've had this juice. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's very fair. Like when I was first starting out, I was drinking 4 liters worth of like the apple mango berry juice a day, and that in itself is a lot of calories, but there's no nutritional content to it. Your body's not getting anything out of it.
Awesome. I throw it to Chuck. Chuck, what do you try to avoid? Living in the land of America, and my perception is definitely everything's bigger in America. And I remember the portion sizes and the sheer cost of healthy versus non-healthy food was so different. What do you see in your home, and what are some of the things that you try to avoid?
Really, you have to be more proactive over here to figure out what is processed, what is not, what has any sort of processed ingredient on it. Portion sizes are bigger. So, take some of the food home, I guess. But it's hard to eat less, and it's hard to let that stomach shrink. But once you do it, you'll realize how much you were overeating. But the labels over here, they try to trick you. The governing body of our nutritional labels over here is absolute joke. But if you can find a farmer's market, which they're much more prevalent over here now, or your local grocery store that has a natural section. Now, even in those sections, you still have to be cautious because there's still beacon things slipping by. But you really truly have to follow the mantra of, I can read everything on that label, it's probably okay for me to put in my body. And also on the, I guess on the flip side of the protein shake and that trap early on, when I started lifting, I wasn't doing protein shakes or anything. I was cleaning up the diet, and then probably about 7 or 8 months in, I was past what's called the newbie gains, where I looked bigger and stronger just because I was finally working all those muscles. Is when I saw it, finally dove in and started doing protein shakes. Like, okay, I want to make sure I get 1 gram per day based upon my food and the protein shake, which, like I said, I wasn't just doing it all my protein from protein shakes. I'm like, okay, well, chicken and rice, chicken and broccoli, spinach,
exactly.
Like where else can I get it? Because I don't want just the one source of protein. I want it from every different way I can.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I know, like, I've been to a few gyms in my local area that when someone signs up, they're pushed to buy subs. That's like both there. They'll walk into like a sup store and no idea what they're doing. They'll be pushed to buy A, B, C, D. You need a pre-workout, you need a fat burner, you need BCAAs, you need a protein shake.
And you don't need. I don't do pre-workout. My pre-workout is my coffee in the morning. Caffeine's my I guess drug of choice, you can say, and I probably do drink too much, but protein shake, and that's I'll take a B12 every once in a while. I'll do a little magnesium every once in a while, but it's not like, if I do this every other day, it's it might be once a month. It might be like, I should probably take a B12. I haven't taken one in a while, or the only thing I'm truly consistent on is my protein shakes and now my creatine supplement, but that's just because of where I'm at, and
exactly.
I know that my body needs it to get to the next level I'm trying to reach. It's not because I can't get to a good level without it. You don't need it to get where you want to go.
I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, it's all about the why. Like, why am I doing this? If I'm trying to, maybe I have injuries, or maybe where I live, it's quite hard for me to get fish. So maybe I supplement with fish oils, or, I've got a reason as opposed to just doing it because everyone else is doing it, or I've read it's good, but I don't actually have any clarity on
exactly.
the why.
Exactly. That's where the research and learning comes into it. You need to find out what you're eating. So one of the big things that my guys struggle with is tracking their food, and tracking that. It works for some people, it doesn't work for others. But if you track your food, you know exactly what's going in it. You know exactly what macronutrients, so your protein, fat, carbohydrates, and you can start looking at micronutrients as well if you really want to go down that path. But once you start tracking, you're going to see exactly kind of where you're sitting with what you're eating as well. And that way you can stay consistent with it. Your body needs certain things. But yeah.
It's funny because it's the stuff that we're taught at school, but somewhere along the way we've lost it. We've forgotten about, at school, I was taught, if I looked at my dinner plate, 50% should be vegetables, 25% protein, 25% starch.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry, Hayden.
Yeah, and that is really the best place to start. That is 100%. If you're just starting your fitness journey, that is the best place to start. Is one big hand is your veggies, one fist is your protein, one fist is your starchy carbs, and that should be your dinner plate. It's a really good, easy, balanced way to start on getting your food right. So.
Yeah, and really the other thing too is it's so personal. There's so much that will work for you but might not work for somebody else. I early on I was tracking my micros and my macros, as well as I had a little hobby journal, not for painting but for lifting, my weights, my reps, my sets, my programming. But after a while I was like, okay, I didn't need them, so I just stopped using them because I'm just doing it now. But it's also a good little personal accountability thing to do those as well.
Yeah,
but some people might use them forever, and it's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it just, for some people, they don't have the time to do that. They don't have the time to track. They don't have the time to, do their own programming and that kind of stuff as well, which is a big struggle for some people. So, especially for people who live at home, who don't prepare their own food. If you've got someone who has to prepare food for a family, or has their food prepared for them by, say, their parents or something like that, if they still live at home. It's hard to track exactly what is going into that food because you're not preparing it, or you're preparing large quantities, and you don't know exactly how much is on your plate.
So let me ask you then, that's actually a really good point. So some people might be living with their family, some people, their partner, their loved one. They may even be buying food from places to, that's the way they do their meals. What are the conversations I should be having with my partner, with my family, in order to, have more veggies on my plate, to have a better diet? Like, is there any advice you guys would give to the conversation I might need to have?
I'll throw this one open to Chuck to start off with.
If really, I don't think anyone who might be preparing meals would be upset if someone said, "Hey, can I help?"
Yeah, exactly.
But and really, the thing too about like a fitness journey, there's no reason why it has to just be you and your family, whether it's your wife, your husband, your significant other, your mom, your dad, your roommate. Getting them involved too. They might jump on board, and all of a sudden you have someone with you on your journey. So, like I said, just jump in. I'm a big proponent of one of the quotes from Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like, no, you have the time. You just need to make the time.
Yeah.
So whether it's helping prepare your own food or educating people that are preparing your food, you can do it. It's just, and you have the time. You just haven't committed to the time.
It's funny you talk about that because just before we started this broadcast, I was just making up my lunches for the week. So I'm a big believer of meal prep, and a lot of bodybuilders do this like meal prep Sunday where they'll prepare their meals for the week. And I'm quite time poor when it comes to work. I do travel about an hour to get to work and then an hour back. So by the time I get home at 6, 7 o'clock, then there's temptation to get takeaway, but I found for myself, I found a lot of success by preparing 2 or 3 meals that I'll eat throughout the week, have them, freshly cooked on a Sunday, either freeze them in the freezer or put them in the fridge in like an airtight kind of container. And I prepare my lunches. So I actually just put in a chicken vegetable soup in the slow cooker. So I literally just had to chop things up, chuck it in the slow cooker. It was there for 8 hours. I then just contained it up. And now I have no excuse not to eat good when I go to work because I've done the work. Yeah, I put in 4 hours, but that I don't know. Are you guys subscribing to meal preps, or do you have any advice when it comes to meals and things like that?
Meal prep is my savior, I guess. It also helps me budget as well. So if it makes you look at, okay, well, this is what I'm going to eat. This is how much it's going to cost. So like you can save a bit of money by doing that as well. So because eating out, even if you're eating out, say 1 meal a day, a lunch at work, that's $10. That's $50 across a week. You can probably make those lunches for $10-15 at home. So you're saving $35 there. So
I think at the farmer's market, I spent about $20 to $25, and that is some fruit. That's a lot of vegetables, and then I just picked up a small amount of chicken, and my weekly. In fact, I've probably done enough to maybe almost do 2 weeks of soup that I can freeze and pull out at a later date. So 100% agree with you on the money as well.
Yeah, go Chuck.
I was going to say I'm on board fully. I meal prep as well. It's a convenience factor. It's sacrificing an hour or two on a Sunday to make the rest of your week much easier, to keep you on pace. And again, the budgeting thing. Like, yeah, you could save so much money, and even look at it just morning cup of coffee. Do you buy a cup of coffee for $2 every morning, or do you buy one bag for 16 that lasts you 3-4 weeks? It's just taking the time and preparing yourself will save you money. You can put in what you want. and it just becomes grab and go, and it's quicker than fast food. You're not waiting in the line. It's just, you're done, go.
Yeah.
I also find that when I don't meal prep and I have to go into the shops 2 or 3 times a week, when you're in the shops, you pick up those other items that you weren't planning for, and those all add up, and they're probably things that I shouldn't be eating. I'm like, oh, I've had a really crap day at work, and I just feel like a Magnum ice cream, and I probably wouldn't have prepared that. And probably at home, I've got some blueberries and some ricotta that probably would be better for me, but I'm in this mindset of like, oh, I just need some junk food, and I'm not thinking rationally. So let me ask you both, when it comes to having a crap day, how do I avoid, going to food? Is there anything that you guys battle? I know, Chuck, you talked about the chocolate thing.
Well, the one savior I do have is dark chocolate is still okay. I 85% or more, I try to push it into the 90s, because it gives my brain enough of that. Okay, it's getting me what I want, but it's not unhealthy for me since it's mostly just cocoa. So it's not impacting me in a negative way. But at the same time, where I'm at, being a year into lifting and probably about 2 years into just generally going to the gym, if I'm having a bad day, I go to the gym. I go to gym every day at 11:30 to 12:30, and every single day, no matter what kind of day I'm having, it's a reset button. It turns around, because headphones in, I turn off, and I just go and put in the work and try and improve my body. But there was the whole mentality, because even after that, because initially it's, oh, I went to the gym, I deserve a treat. Like, well, no, I'm an adult. I don't need to get a Happy Meal just because I went to the gym. My reward is what I'm doing each and every day. Not saying that you can't have a reward. You can't, have that drink every once in a while. Like, I'll have a beer every once in a while in the summer, but I'm not having one every other night or every night for dinner. That's not going to get me where I want to go. So that definitely, I guess, visualizing the goal. Like, I see my body of how I want it and where I want to be in a couple months. So just keeping that always in the front of your mind, that when you're standing in the checkout line and there's that wall of candy that, I would love to just go at and just destroy, it might be holding that Kit Kat, but like, this Kit Kat's not going to get me my 6-pack, so I put it back down.
That's a really powerful way of thinking about, is this going to help or is this going to hinder me? And Hayden, I'm sure, when you've had a crap day and, you have pushed yourself to go to the gym, like, it's raining, it's a crap day, I just want to stay at home and watch Netflix and chill, but you go to the gym, you probably never, ever, ever finish and like regret, why did I go to the gym? I shouldn't have done it. I don't feel good now. You probably always come out with your endorphins pumped.
Well, that's it. Like, physiologically, you can't leave the gym unhappy, because as you exercise, your body releases endorphins. So you literally, physiologically, you can't leave the gym unhappy. So,
and this probably doesn't just mean the gym. That could be a run.
Yeah, just exercise in general. When you exercise, your body releases endorphins, which makes you feel better. So go for a walk, go for a run, lift some weights, play with the dog, do whatever, you will feel better. Exercise is one of the greatest helps for mental health that is underutilized, because when you're depressed, like I've struggled with it personally. I had really bad depression when I was growing up. Then I started exercising more. It really, really helped. Not saying that exercise will cure your depression, but it helps. It helps you get through. So.
No, and it's something that I bring into the business world as well, where I do walk and talk meetings. So, instead of just locking myself in a room and just talking business, if I can do like a one-on-one, if I can talk about a project with a stakeholder or somebody that I can, just go around the block, I can sneak a bit of exercise in, but I also, it does recharge you and rejuvenate you. So these aren't just skills for general life. These are used in your work. These can be used in wargaming, so much.
Well, let's not forget, I mean, we keep forgetting to touch on it, but real quick, going back to the budget, whenever you're meal prepping and saving money, it means you can go buy more toys, get more witch elves on the table. By going to the gym all the time, this past Adepticon, tell you what, my legs were far less tired from standing all day. Doing squats every week will do that for you. So
just don't
these
train
subtle
legs
benefits
before
in
an event.
That would be a challenge.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I mean, it all ties together, and really, I guess the point of everything that I'm saying is the mentality I have in weightlifting is the same mentality I have in wargaming. It's all the same: dedication, commitment, research, getting to know, accountability, all that. It's all you need, and you can just apply it to everywhere else in your life too, and it'll make you grow as a person and improve.
No, it's actually a really interesting way of thinking about it. Like let's think of the parallels together. I want to play Warhammer. I want to get fit. Cool. What do I enjoy? So if I'm thinking of Warhammer, I'm starting a new army. I might look at the aesthetic. I might look at the background. I might look at the models. I start doing my research. I start thinking about what I like and what I don't like. Think about the play style. I think about all these things. I test it. I see how I go. I practice. I tweak my lists. I practice. I get really good at it. And then I might try something new. These are the same principles that could be applied in fitness. Go for a walk, try running. If you like running, keep doing it, get better, improve your time, buy some new shoes. If you don't like it, try something different, find maybe some group exercise. It's the same principles we're using today that I think it's brilliant. I think it's a great connection. Speaking of Adepticon, that actually is a nice segue as well. Because I think one of the biggest challenges for us wargamers, especially people who go to events, is this is an environment where we lose complete control. Now, what I mean by that is that we are restricted by when we can have our breaks. Often we're restricted to canteens that are within the vicinity or, in a very remote area. So Hayden, we were at CanCon this year, and CanCon has like 2 traders that has like hot dogs and chips, and you probably only got enough time to run outside, and the only thing close by is a McDonald's.
Yeah. So
my food options are poor. They're big days, and it's quite tempting to get chocolate and soft drinks, and there's some serious traps, and you're with all your buddies, and you probably go out drinking as well, and all of a sudden, boom, I've lost control. And while it's okay if I'm budgeting for that, it's probably big traps.
Yes.
So where I'm going with this is, what can I do if I don't want to fall into those traps at a wargaming convention? What can I do? What's some advice you guys would have?
I don't personally, because I traveled from Brisbane to CanCon. Like, it's a bit harder for me. I know you took some food down with you, Anthony, when you went down. But when I went down, I couldn't bring any food with me. But I was staying at a hotel with Clint from the Heralds of War and Chris from Mortally Wounded and all those guys. We tried to have some different kinds of foods in our hotel room, which we could have outside of the convention, like at night. And then just while you're there, look at the menu, see what's there, go, okay, what is the healthiest option on this menu? And then go, well, if that's the best choice, I'm going to go with that. Like, there may be burgers, chips, hot dogs, but there may also be like wraps. There might be a salad. There might be, there are healthy options usually at these kind of events. You just got to look for them and try and find the best one.
Yeah, I guess not to be given into temptation.
Yeah, that's it, 100%.
I see. I would just say just be on your bulk whenever you go to a wargaming event.
Or just a 4-day cheat day.
Yeah,
4 days now.
4-day dirty bulk.
I'm a big proponent, especially during the event day, because I always budget that in the evening, we're probably gonna go to a burger or pizza place, so that's probably gonna be the bulk of my calories for the day, for good or for ill. So throughout the day, it's water, it's almonds, it's some fruit. I will snack all day to keep my energy levels high. Plus that stuff I can bring now. Granted, I'm usually driving into my events, but take a look at this past year on the Facehammer guys came over and Domus took them out to the grocery store to get what they needed because they were eating healthier. They didn't want to, have the junk. So even if you're traveling afar, like find someone who's local and see if they can take you to the grocery, and you can buy a few of the things that you need just to make sure you have that healthy snack, that healthy item, or like even a healthy meal you can prepare in your room. Because the fun's not going to stop. When you got to dinner, you're still going to come back and do stuff. So if you're missing out on dinner, but you're doing it because you're trying to improve yourself, that's fine. I mean, use that as time to go to the gym, whatever you like. I failed this past year. I really wanted to go to the gym every morning at Adepticon, but I failed. I won't lie. It's what it is. But I'm trying to recommit this year when I'm going to my next event at Nova, of going to the gym every morning or in the evening after the event's done, just to keep on the pace that I like. Just because I had Adepticon and I failed going to the gym doesn't mean I was defeated and go, oh, I guess I should just never go again. Like Monday came around and I was back at the gym and I was more motivated because I was trying to kick my butt for missing.
I've got to go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he's 100% right. If you fall off the horse, just get back on. There's nothing stopping you from just going again. Staying consistent. One day isn't going to completely ruin the 3-4 months that you've done before. Just get back on the horse and keep going.
Yeah, I'm a big believer of probably one of my favorite quotes, and that's, there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. And it's something that I've kind of carried through to my life. And when I went to my very first tournament and got exposed to again, rubbish food that I didn't really want to eat, but I felt like I was compelled as my only options. I regretted it afterwards, but I learned from it. I'm thinking, okay, what can I control? And Chuck, you mentioned, grabbing some almonds and bringing them. And while I might be restricted with my canteen choices, and yes, I can do salads and wraps and things that are at the conference, I can also make sure that I drink plenty of water. I can make sure that I bring some almonds and some other, proteins to keep me on the go. Maybe I make a commitment of having a really good breakfast, a healthy breakfast. I know I'm going to have a blowout at dinner, and that's okay, but I'm going to try to make better choices along the way. So, I'm not regretting 3 horrible meals and just, rubbish and crap that, pushes me back and makes me regret what I did.
But I mean, just laughing right now, like Hayden, what are you drinking right now in your mug?
Water.
It's what, 9-10 o'clock for you? I'm 8 a.m. over here. I'm drinking water. There he is. You got water.
Yeah.
And this is one of my 2 liters of water. So I know that when I go to a convention or I'm at work, if I fill this up and I drink 2 liters of water, I've done a great job, and it kind of gives me a nice sense check.
Yeah. Everyone drink more water.
Yeah.
No matter how much you're drinking, you're not hydrated.
How much water should I be drinking? I mean, obviously this changes from body sizes and the level of exercise I've been doing. Is there a minimum I should be thinking about?
I'll leave that to Hayden because I just drink constantly throughout the day. I don't know what that stat would be.
Yeah, there's formulas for it, but as a general rule, especially for someone just starting out, try to drink it 2.5 to 3 liters worth of water a day. It'll keep you hydrated, and then if you're training, try and drink an extra 600 ml of water. Just drink so your mouth isn't dry is the best. Mm-hmm. the best advice I can give.
You don't need chapstick. You need water.
Yeah, that's it.
And I think they say that when you are getting dehydrated and you're feeling thirsty, that's often actually a reaction that you haven't been drinking enough water for the last hour or 2. This is actually it's like a last minute warning sign. So just making sure your fluids are up, and you're constantly drinking. I think it's I think they say 20 minutes is best practice. Is just making sure you're regularly drinking, not like big jugs, but just constantly sipping on water to keep yourself hydrated.
Especially in the mornings. I mean, you just slept for 7 to 8 hours. You're dehydrated. One of the best things, just for not just fitness in general, but just like feeling good, was I keep a glass of water near my sink. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I go brush my teeth and I drink water and get hydrated right away. And all of a sudden, your day's off to a much better start. Your mood's improved. You can think more clearly, much quicker. That was just a small tip. I see it everywhere in the fitness industry, but when I started doing it, it's just generally I felt better.
Yep, it's great advice. I take my dog for so the very first thing that I do, other than put clothes on, is I take my dog for a walk. So that gives the house to my wife, and she can get ready without me being in her face. But it also, the first thing I do is have a good drink of water, take my dog for a walk. When I come back, have more water, then eat my meal. So absolutely recognize that when you sleep, you probably haven't been drinking for 6 to 8 hours, let alone, I think a lot of people don't drink the hour or the half an hour before getting into bed as well, just so they want to get up and pee and things. So well, maybe that's just my household. It's like, I don't want to get out and pee at night. I just won't drink for another hour, and then all of a sudden it's maybe you have an electric blanket on. In Australia, it's winter right now, and the UK people are probably going to laugh at us because we get really cold, but it's not really cold. But I've got an electric blanket on, which is going to again dehydrate me even more. So just being aware of this.
It's okay. It's 30 degrees and it's a heat wave over there. That's we can laugh at them because that's not really hot.
Well, yesterday it was like 7 degrees when I took the dog for a walk, and I was freezing. I had like 3 jackets on, and that's probably summer for the Brits.
Yeah. Mate, and their 30 degrees is our winter, right?
Yeah, it's like, is that all? I wear singlets in 30. That's nothing.
Yeah.
So we've had some interesting points so far. I'd love to know a little bit more about you guys personally, and so you guys shared a little bit about your motivations and where you've come from and where you're going. I want to ask you, what's your favorite music you like working out to? Or maybe it's not even music, maybe it's a podcast, or maybe you don't listen to anything at all. Do you have a preference?
I guess I'll start. Music. As you probably, if you follow me on Twitter, I love Taylor Swift. I love her music. I really enjoy pop music. Pop music is positive, it gets me moving, as well as dance music. Now, it's not my only taste. I can listen to any type of music and really enjoy it. But when I'm lifting, actually the station on my Pandora is usually my Kesha station, just because it's it's still poppy and fun, but it's usually got a harder beat. So TikTok can help me get those gains.
Oh man.
Hayden, where are you at? You look like a pop princess as well, like being an elf player.
I am the complete opposite. I cannot listen to that stuff, mostly because it's what plays over the gym speakers. So it gets a bit frustrating hearing Beyonce for the 3rd time in one day. I listen to old school Linkin Park. I'm a real pop punk or nu metal, or like Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil,
Nice.
Disturbed, Paramore, Fall Out Boy.
Why these tracks?
Sum 41, Offspring.
Sum 41, Offspring.
Yep.
Because the heavier rock gets me going when I'm lifting. I don't know what it is. The one song that I will always listen to when I deadlift is "Faint" by Linkin Park. It is my go-to get pumped song.
Not like One Step Closer to the Edge and I'm going to break. Like no.
That's the opposite of what I want. But
like I said, it's really it's a mindset entirely. Because really, if you want to think about it, you're not going to deadlift, and I'm not going to military press the weight I'm looking at with or without music. It's just, it puts you in the mindset because you get so used to it. Like I get those certain pop songs, you get those certain rock songs on, and it's just all of a sudden, no matter what, because you can be unfocused at the gym. I mean, we all get that, and you're not going to have not every day is going to be new PRs. So you're going to have bad times, but you'll always have that couple songs where you're just like instantly focused, and you're going to nail the lift you're on right now.
I guess I think about that physiology and that change in our physiology. Probably, maybe I'm showing my age here, but like Rocky Eye of the Tiger. Obviously it's by Survivor, but it's from the Rocky soundtrack. Like when I hear the Rocky soundtrack and I hear that dun dun dun, like I just get that feeling of boxing. I want to run up like a million stairs and jump and you're Adrian, kind of like absolutely that pumps me up, right? And it's actually funny. I'm gonna be really cheesy here. Hayden, don't ever say this again. Don't mention this at the next tournament we play. But whenever I go to a tournament, I always like to listen to the Karate Kid, like "You're the best, the best." Like, that gets me pumped. Like I'm gonna roll more sixes because I've listened to that.
I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Miyagi.
I'm gonna agree. Sia, The Greatest, that album, that song will get me going whenever I need that confidence boost.
But you guys have pointed out, and like what I want people to think about is, if you are going to work out and maybe you aren't feeling the most motivated, I want to go for a run. How am I going to go faster? How am I going to push more weights? And it might be some music. It might be a specific gym workout track. There's been times where I've developed a playlist which is just like the best of the best songs, and that just keeps me pumped for that 40 to 50 minutes or 30 minutes that I'm working out.
I'm actually looking on my phone right now. There's some playlists on Spotify. This is more so for cardio, so you're running and all that kind of stuff, that have a certain BPM. So if you want to run to a certain BPM, you can just listen to this playlist, and all of the songs in that playlist will be in that range. So, like, for example, where is it? Like, I've got one which is rock and run, 160 to 165 BPM.
Yeah.
So it'll get you going at a specific rate. So for cardio, those kind of actually looking at the songs and going, well, I want to run at this rate. This is the songs that I should listen to so I can keep pace. But for lifting weights, that's not as much of an issue, I guess.
You just need the build up for the lifting for that one moment.
Speaking of technology, is there any apps, any tech pieces that you recommend or you live by? Like, I know for me, the Apple Watch is pretty handy to change songs when my phone's in my bag. I know it also tracks my steps to make sure that I've got like a minimum activity level. Do you guys have any apps that you'd recommend checking out for diet or for fitness or for workouts or just things that you use?
MyFitnessPal is great for tracking food. It's a free app done by Under Armour, I think, are the guys who put that out. And it's got a database of food in it. So you can literally just scan a barcode on the food that you're using to meal prep with. Or if you're out and about and go, cool, here's like a U-Foods meal, I can scan that in and it'll track your food for you. Technology-wise, these are my latest purchase, and these have changed the way that I train. They're just AirPods. They are the best quality headphones I've used in a long time. And the battery life is amazing. And the fact that they don't have a cord at all means I can do any exercise that I really want, whether that's muscle ups, whether that's deadlifts, whether that's going for a run. And it links up with my watch. It links up with my phone. I don't have to worry about anything getting in the way.
Awesome.
Yeah, I used MyFitnessPal for a while too, to help get my diet straight. I also am looking to get a pair of wireless headphones because I'm getting very frustrated every time I try to do front squats and I have to move the cords around because
yes,
it's crushing it. So, or I put the belt on too tight. I didn't pull the slack out when I'm doing my deadlifts, and that's going to be my next purchase. But outside of that, actually, one piece of advice I can say is whatever pants or shorts you have to work out, get zippers on them, because anytime you're doing any core exercises, I've had my phone fly out multiple times because, leg swings and the toe touches, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, did I break my phone again? Because I didn't wear my pants with zippers.
Yeah. Another reason wireless headphones are fantastic.
Yeah, put the phone way out of here, away from the weights. Actually, I was watching one guy in the fitness area, Larry Wheels. He was squatting like 495 for 19, and the safety bars, he just had his phone sitting down there. I'm like, talk about motivation to not drop that weight. Put your phone on the safety bar.
Yeah.
So another app that I'm going to recommend that is a little bit different. I don't know if you boys have heard this app, but I found this app that I think it did cost me a few dollars up front. It's called Zombie Run.
Yeah.
And
it's very good, hey.
Yeah, so for the people who haven't heard of Zombie Run, it is a running app, but it's got a narrative behind it. So there are these stories, and the idea is that your patient number, or your survivor number 6, and basically you are a runner. And the whole idea is that there's these different missions. Maybe it's go find one of the survivors, or go pick up some medical supplies, and there's a story that unfolds over that 30 to 60 minutes, but there's these intervals where it plays music, but then it also brings a narrative where it's like zombies are coming, run, and it tracks your speed and your GPS. So it kind of forces you to run, but then also you can keep your walking pace as you normally are, but it's also that fun. I don't know, it sounds pretty weird, but for me, I suppose that the audience here is big nerds, so I'm all up for zombies and running from zombies.
To tie into that, there's a app I've been trying to get in the habit of using it. It's going to be kind of funny once you find out what it is, but it's called Habitica.
Okay.
But it's like a little pixelated, you have an avatar. It's a free app, but you level up, you set your own goals, and that's how you earn EXP for this character, and you unlock rewards, like going to the gym for an hour, eating the right meals, and you can branch it out, and you set up your own guide essentially. But I haven't developed a habit of using a guide that helps me develop habits that are natural and good. But if you like the old classic Japanese RPGs and you want to develop some sort of fitness program through something like that, it would be a fun one.
No.
There's another app. I haven't had it on my phone for years. When I first started as a PT, I had a few people who worked for EB Games here in Australia. I think that's GameStop in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this app here. It's called Dungeon Runner. It's called Dungeon Runner Fitness Quest. And pretty much it is a game. And you set up your phone or your iPad or whatever and have it sitting there, and it'll tell you to, do 10 jump squats, do 15 ski jumps or something like that. And that's how you progress. It's like a side scroller. So you progress through this side scroller by the camera recognizing movement and moving you along and defeating enemies and all that kind of stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
It's something that you can do at home, and it's a bit of a workout, and it'll get your heart rate up, and it's a bit of fun because it's a game. Another thing as well, which is something that I've looked at in the past, is there's a US-based company. It's called Nerd Fitness, and they do from what I've seen, the best kind of online programming for nerds I've come across. My hat goes off to them. It's very, very cool. They've turned fitness into a RPG, which is fantastic. So,
yeah. Look, I think the point of this, and I hope you guys, really took away the concept, is that fitness doesn't have to be boring. It shouldn't have to be something that I have to do and I'm forced to do it. And, eating food that is good for me is a chore. There are definitely lots of different ways that you can have fun. You can mess about. Chuck, you mentioned earlier about the WhatsApp group and, the sharing with Dan from AOS Shorts, your stories and your images and, having that accountability buddy. But there's so many different ways you can have fun, keep yourself motivated. Whether it's sharing progress pictures, whether it's, gamifying it through different games, whether it's, giving yourself little rewards, like through the apps that we've just talked about, these little, RPG trophies. But this is what you make of it. It doesn't have to be boring. It can be fun, and there's plenty of ways of making this fun. So I guess we've probably been talking for well over an hour, and I'd be surprised if anyone's watching this video past this point, because I'm imagining 99.9 people have actually gone out already, and they're doing push-ups, they've gone for a run, they're throwing things out of their fridge, and the 0.01 people who actually followed through to this point. It's probably YouTube just continuing to play while they've run off and getting fit. So if you've hung on this long, awesome. I can't wait to hear about your progress and what you're doing. But, I guess, is there anything else you guys want to share with us before I ask you a final question? Anything we haven't covered yet?
I was going to say, is this shameless plug time or not?
We can absolutely shameless plug then. There's nothing. Look, I think, if I reflect on this last hour, we've talked about the importance of eating, and, thinking about this isn't just one big change in our life. It's about small incremental growth. It's making better decisions, and, it's still okay to eat the foods that we're eating, but if we're making better choices, we're going to get better slowly. But if you want rapid change and you want to, you have a goal in mind, we need to eat the foods that are going to get us to our goal. So Chuck, he's talked about lifting weights. So he needs to build muscle. How do you build muscle? It's through food A, B, and C. So he needs to ensure that he's eating A, B, and C. We talked a bit about exercise. We've talked about, exercise doesn't have to be gym. It could be walking. It could be running. It could be, spending time with sports. It can be alone with group of friends. And obviously the importance of, routine, making sure that we have this constant focus to ensure that, we got consistency in our life. We've also got music. We've talked about tech. We've talked about a lot of things, boys. We've talked a lot.
Yes, we have.
So there's still so much we could do, but yeah.
Yeah. Look, we could probably do like an 8-hour cast like Warhammer Weekly. I reckon we could do. I reckon maybe even do like, if we hang on long enough, Chuck it'll hit 11 o'clock where Chuck is, and he'll have to do his workout. So
so he'll take it with him and then
do some work.
Sure, the camera would be great on that.
I'm sure there's according to my YouTube stats, I think there's a 0.1% of females that watch my channel. So I'm sure they would appreciate if you took your shirt off and did some, really sweaty workout.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But so I guess if somebody wants to learn more, if they want to get involved, they want to ask for some advice. Hayden, I'll throw it over to you first. Is there anything you want to share with the group? Any shameless plugs that you want to make?
Yeah. So I was talking a bit to Anthony about this prior to the broadcast. I'm going to throw out a free program for the guys who watch this. Just send me a message at Hayden at Elite for Fitness, so ELITEFOUR fitness.com, and I'll shoot you through a free program that you guys can take that and go out to a gym, or you can do it at home. It is all body weight, and you can just give it a crack without any need for any equipment whatsoever.
Does it matter where the person lives? Do they have to be in Australia?
Doesn't matter where you are. It's free. It is no commitment. It is just there to get everyone in the community healthier, because that's why I'm in this job. It's not for the money. It's not for anything else. It's to better people's lives. So.
Although with more money, Hayden can buy more elves. So
yes, which would also be helpful, but
especially if there are rumored for 2 more elf factions coming in the next 12 to 18 months. So Hayden needs more money.
Yes,
help his
please.
brother. I'll start a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
Hayden needs elves.
Make elves great again.
No.
I get the feeling with Daughters of Cain, you are definitely making the Mortal Realms great again.
Oh, mate, no, depends with all the new rules, mate. We'll see how they translate to the table. So,
and if anybody
They're
else,
great.
and if people want to get in touch with you further, Hayden, are you on the social networks?
yes. So I'm on Facebook as Hayden Walker. I'm on Instagram as both _Hayden Walker or @TheAngryWargamer. And I'm also at my website at www.elite4fitness.com.
And before I transition to Chuck, I've got to say you have not been angry yet. So,
mate, you've seen me angry, and we're not going to talk about that.
I have seen that. The first, and this is not the angry story, but the first time I met Hayden, he played against me. So I was running free people. It's a bunch of like crap wounded models, and Hayden was running 2 Stonehorns, 2 Thunder Tusks in the old destruction filth. So the fact that he's on this stream just is a testament to his knowledge and what a great wargamer he is.
And to point out, after that, I kind of ran Zench and then have run Daughters of Cain. So it's a line of filth, I think.
But at the Australian Masters, you did run what?
Order Draconis and beat the #1 player in Australia.
Beat the Clan Scryer who popped up with the tunneling Storm friends. We call them Storm Friends, not Storm Fiends. So
yeah.
Hayden, you've been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for all your knowledge. And Chuck, tell me more. What's do you have a shameless plug?
Yes, I got a couple. So I have a twice a week blog I write, and I do kind of dive into wellness and fitness a little bit. Mostly it's aimed at Age of Sigmar though, but it's called the Realmgate blog. And if you just Google the Realmgate, or therealmgate.blogspot.com, you can check that out. I did recently start a YouTube channel, working on getting some more subscriptions so I can get my custom URL, but it's called Strength Hammer. Now it's not your typical type of wargaming podcast. It's not going to be talks. It's definitely more of a vlog in the fitness industry style, but it's going to be about my fitness and my journey on lifting, as well as my journey with Age of Sigmar and wargaming. So built to be entertainment, built to be fun. Yeah, I'm going to do goofy stuff, but really enjoyed putting out the first episode. Got a lot of good feedback, so more from that coming. Trying to do that once every 2 weeks. Just like I said, if you just search Strength Hammer or find me through my Twitter, which is at Odiam, ODIAMH. And even through there, you can find the hashtag Stormcast Strong. So if you're in the wargaming circle and you're on Twitter and you're wanting to get better, just hit me up, message me. I can get you into the WhatsApp group, and just use that Stormcast Strong hashtag just to give yourself a rallying flag and just join all of us that are on a journey, no matter where we're at, beginning, middle, or been experienced for years. Just I would love to see more and more people use it and jump on board with improving themselves.
No, it's been great. And I've got to say, Ben Curry put out a video today, which I thought was cracking. So share photos, share videos, lots of great discussion. And Chuck, you can't get away with this without telling the group, what is the group's name? So what's the WhatsApp group's name?
So this is I'm gonna throw it to Tom Walton. I'm gonna give him a plug because he was also one of the guys. Him, myself, and Dan from AO Shorts were the people kind of just posting, and now it's kind of rallied. But he threw out the name. It's called Gainshammer. That's the WhatsApp group name. It's Gainshammer.
Is Gain spelt with an S or a Z?
Ooh, I think it's with an S.
I think it is. I think the bro science isn't there yet, so
doesn't mean it can't change in the future.
might be that second edition.
Ooh.
And I'd love you guys to make sure that you check out. I'll link below. I'll link below all of the links that we've just shared, from social networks to the WhatsApp, all the good stuff. But it's been an absolute pleasure having our Celestin Prime of the strength of strength strength hammer. It's like so much strings of words, but It's been an absolute pleasure having both of you on the line. No shameless plug from me because you're on my channel, so obviously you found me somehow. But what I would love is, one, go in the comment section, put in what you've enjoyed, any questions, your thoughts. Don't forget to let us know what you think about our 2 elven hairstyles that we've got on the line. Do they embody the beauty of the elves, or are they more dwarven? I think I've just offended both of you. I think you guys.
Sorry.
How do I hang up?
I'm looking to do more of these types of discussions. So if you've got a topic or something that you'd like to focus on, let me know. Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for hanging out with me for the last hour or I don't even know how it's been, almost an hour and a half. So I hope everyone has taken value out of the discussion. You've taken some hints, tips, and tricks that you can go in and improve your health and your wellness. The only thing that I probably didn't talk about that you probably should have was sleep. So make sure you get plenty of sleep, plenty of rest, because that is an important
where your muscles grow.
6 to 8 hours a night.
6 to 8 hours, absolute minimum of quality sleep. Make sure you're sleeping well.
Yes.
I have one request, gentlemen.
Ooh.
Can we close out by flexing?
The gun show. All right, we'll start. So let's
Get
do
the
it.
gun show going.
All right, so I will start first. I'll start, then I'll move to Hayden. Then we'll just move, just so we all get like that opportunity to do the flex. So, or Hayden, do you want to start?
No, I'm fine. I'm good, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll
Okay.
flex. So
there you go. There you go, the boys.
All right. Try not to hit the microphone and everything in the way, but that's the gun show. So, all right, Hayden.
There you go. Get him out. Yeah, buddy.
There we go.
And
we got all the sleeves up now. All right, get sleeves up.
Boom.
Yeah.
I think my female viewers just went up about 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And some guys, I think, if you're going to look as good as Chuck and Hayden, tattoos as well. I think we've got some funny characters as well on our arms, but that's maybe another episode. Maybe Wargamers and tattoos is the next episode.
Oh, dear.
All right, let's end this on a high. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the muscles. Make sure to get involved in any discussions. Jump on Twitter. Let us know what your thoughts are. And until next time, happy wargaming, guys. Thanks again.
See you guys.
See ya.